Hi, everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today, I'm talking about the movie X. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. X is a horror movie about a group of people in the 70s, late 70s, who decide to rent out a house and an older person's property and film a pornographic movie. Basically, what happens is, as they're there, they find out the older couple who live there are kind of crazy and homicidal, and they have to deal with that. So, as far as what I liked about the movie, I really like the setting. The 70s is one of my favorite time periods. I like the cars and the clothes and the colors and the browns and all of that kind of stuff. So, immediately, as soon as I kind of saw that, I really enjoyed it. I thought the cast overall was really good. Mia Goth is in here. Again, this is a spoiler review. Mia Goth is in here. She plays two different roles. She plays Maxine, the young woman who's around the same age as Mia Goth in real life, and then Pearl, the old woman who is crazy and trying to kill these people. I didn't realize it was her playing that role until I saw the trailer at the end, and I realized that she was playing Pearl and put two and two together. Brittany Snow was good in this. I'm mostly familiar with her from the Pitch Perfect movies. I don't know if I ever saw them, but I'm aware that they exist. I thought she was good in this. Kid Cudi, I didn't realize it was him until later, but Kid Cudi was in this. He was good. Jenna Ortega is always good. She was good in this as well. Martin Henderson, and then Owen Campbell, who I'm not familiar with Owen Campbell at all, but I thought he did a fine job in this. Cinematography in this movie is beautiful. It's really well shot. It looks very nice, very professional. Overall, I like the music. I like 70s music, so anytime they've got any kind of 70s music in there, I'm usually going to be a fan. There's an alligator scene somewhat early on in the movie, and it's really good. It's very suspenseful. It's sort of shot from the overhead, and you can see Mia Goth's character swimming in this lake or pond, and an alligator comes up, and it's very scary and suspenseful. She gets out just in time, and I don't think she even realized that the alligator was there. But there was the creepy old lady watching her. There's a scene with a nail that, again, I really liked, where you sort of see the nail sitting there on the piece of wood sticking up, and you see the guy barefoot walking toward it. You know it's about to happen, and it happens, and it's fun. It's a fun scene. There's also a lot of just very cool, interesting deaths in this movie. Right after that nail scene, the same character, there's a scene where he's sort of looking through a hole, and you're sitting there going, "Don't do it, man! Don't do it!" And he gets stabbed right in the eye, and it's great. It's fun. There's an alligator kill that's really cool too. So good times there. Oh, and then at the end there, you can see the old woman is sort of laying out on the ground, and the final girl, Mia Goth's character, Maxine, gets into the car, and you're sitting there going, "God," or at least I'm sitting there going, "God, please run her head over," and she ran her head over, and that was pretty cool. Always good. Overall, I think the humor in this was pretty good. There were some pretty funny moments. I don't know if they were all intentional or not, but yeah, there's some times when people would laugh in the theater at stuff that I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be funny or not, and there was one or two times where I laughed and I was the only one laughing, so I don't know. And then at the end, there's sort of this reveal that this preacher who we've seen on the TV is actually Maxine's father, which I thought was interesting. I don't know how much it really added to the story, but okay, that's fine. As far as what I disliked about it, I don't like the title. I've found just in Googling it and trying to find it, it's hard to find a movie called X movie, The opening shot for me, again, like I said, I saw the 70s cars. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in. And then I noticed how long the shot lingered and how long it sat there for. And I realized, oh, this is going to be one of those movies with very long lingering shots that seem to be common these days, and it definitely was. Now this is an A42? Yeah, A24 film, and their movies are sort of art house movies, so I can't really complain too much. I think I know what I expected there, but yes, it very much it's just a very slow movie, much like the Batman from a couple weeks ago. It just seems like there's a lot of very long lingering shots that I know they're supposed to build atmosphere and they're supposed to kind of build tension, but to me, it's just boring. I found myself several times in this movie just being bored because it is very slow and it takes a really long time to get to the horror. Other than a cow you see slaughtered on the side of the road, you don't really see any actual horror until well over an hour into the movie, I think. I wasn't looking at my watch, but till like basically the third act of the movie. And once the horror gets going, once the murders start happening, the kills, they're satisfying. But to me, they spend a little bit too much time with the sort of porno movie A story. It, to me, basically seems like they only had about 30 to 45 minutes of actual story in this movie, and then decided to stretch it out into an hour and a 45-minute long film. It's very avant-garde. The makeup's not great. Like I said, I couldn't tell that it was Mia Goth as the old woman, but I could definitely tell that it was not an old woman. Same thing with the old guy. I could tell they were both people in makeup. And the makeup was not terrible, but it was very obviously makeup. There's a sing-along scene in this movie that I hate sing-alongs. I hate musicals. I don't know what, I kind of get why it was there, but it reminded me a little bit of that scene in The Conjuring 2 where Patrick Wilson just starts playing guitar and singing an Elvis song, and it's like, what the hell is this? This one, it did make a little bit more sense in the context. She was singing Silver Spring, which is about getting older, I think. Or no, Landslide, I'm sorry. She's singing Landslide, the Fleetwood Mac song about getting older. That makes sense. You know, it kind of did apply, and they sort of showed the old lady. I wasn't super impressed with Brittany Snow singing, which is funny because she's kind of known for singing. I guess she was trying to sing with the Texas accent, so I don't know if she's from Texas or not. But yeah, I didn't like that. And then immediately after that sing-along scene, Jenna Ortega's character decides she wants to be in the movie. Why? I don't really know. They don't explain it very well. I don't know. Her character is just kind of quiet. Again, she's a great actress. They don't give her much to do in this movie, at least not in the beginning. She's just kind of a quiet character who just sits there. And then, yeah, after that, she decides to be in the movie. Her boyfriend has to film his girlfriend being in the movie, which obviously he's not very happy about. He breaks down in the shower crying and then gets brutally stabbed to the neck by a crazy old lady. So, you know, not a great night for him at all. I definitely felt bad for that character. Overall, I thought that the character motivations were just kind of nonsensical. They didn't make a lot. It seemed like I could tell what they were going to do. I could tell where they were going to go, but it just seemed like they didn't spend enough time building that up or explaining why the character would make those choices. To me in general, I didn't like the score, even though I liked the music they used. The score had a lot of weird noises in there, stuff that sounded like cell phones going off or something, or other people in the theater cell phones are going off. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I didn't like all of it. I did sort of like the sounds in general, the crickets and that kind of stuff, but some of the score pieces to me were actually kind of annoying. The movie is, I think, really more disturbing than it is scary. I don't think it's the kind of thing where, you know, you'd be afraid to be alone at night or anything, but it might still give you nightmares because it is definitely very creepy and weird. There's a thing, it's kind of stupid, but the old man, so a big part of the movie, I guess, is that the old lady is sexually unsatisfied by her husband, who is afraid to do anything with her because his heart is bad. Which, okay, makes sense, I guess. But then he proceeds to kill people and drag their bodies around and everything else. Like, I feel like if your heart's not good enough for sex, how are you killing people and doing that? But whatever. It's a minor thing. There's a lot of themes in this movie. You know, they talk kind of about beauty and age and sort of how they connect, sex in general, and sort of the nature we have about sex and pornography. There's stuff about religion and morals in here, and it's interesting. I think it's cool that they tried to talk about that kind of stuff, but I think for me, a lot of it is not, it's kind of surface level. And it seemed almost like there's too many ideas here. There's too many themes going on. If they would have just decided to focus on the whole sex and age and beauty thing, I think that would have been fine. Or if they would have just focused on like the whole religion and morals thing, I think that would have been fine. But trying to do all of them together, I think they didn't really succeed at any of them. Or I don't want to say they didn't succeed in any of them, but I think they could have spent a little more time sort of fleshing that out. Other than that, the movie is directed by a guy named Ty West. I'm not too familiar with him. He's done a movie called The House of the Devil, which I've heard good things about. I haven't seen. The Innkeepers and Cabin Fever 2, but I believe he wanted to take his name off of that movie. And then he's done a lot of TV stuff, and I have seen some of the TV shows that he's directed, but yeah, it seems like people do like him quite a bit. The movie reminds me quite a bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that's sort of intentional. It's people in Texas, you know, driving around in a van and finding a crazy family. It's not that big of a leap. Like I said, this is an A24 movie. I like most of their movies, but I don't see all of them. They are very much art house kind of pretentious movies in some ways. This is Jenna Ortega's third horror movie this year. She was in Scream in January. Studio 666 in February, and now this one in March. So yeah, cool. I hope she's got a movie coming out in April too. That would be great. The Rotten Tomato score on this one, at least at the time of filming, is really high. I was surprised. It's in the 90s, I think. I think that is the critic score, and the audience score is more like high 70s. But yeah, I have to say I'm surprised the score is that high because I did not like this movie as much as it seems that other people did. But I can understand why critics would like this movie. It's about filmmaking, and it does a lot of the kind of pretentious things that filmmakers like to do. There's a post-credit scene, which I feel like the theater I was at wasn't happy about. Oh, she's wet. Okay. Yeah, it's raining outside. There's a post-credit scene. I feel like the theater was not too stoked about me sitting there in the theater. But yeah, the post-credit scene is basically a trailer for the movie Pearl, which is going to be a prequel to this movie. And Mia Goth will again be playing the character Pearl, but in the 20s, I think. She said something about World War I. So yeah, overall for the movie, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It was hard for me to judge this movie. It's hard for me to score it because I didn't particularly like it. But I do think it is a well-made movie, and I think that the filmmakers put a lot of effort into it. And it did really stick with me, and I'm still thinking about it, several hours later after seeing it. So I do feel like it might be the kind of movie that I would like more upon, second and third viewings. And I can see it sort of developing a cult following, but for me, I don't like it as much as everyone else seems to. So I'm going to stick with the 7 out of 10 on this one. And that's it for me for this week. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments below. Have a nice night, and I will see you here again next week.